Welcome to Rewire, presented by SOPHRAXIA. My name is Christopher, and thanks for joining. I'll be your guide tonight. Uh, for the finale, the season finale for Staying Steady, which we have done all this month. Um, and this will be our recap and reflection of it. So, what have we learned this month from Staying Steady? Well, I can say that no matter where, I mean, we had an intention for where it would go, but I don't think they could ever predict what we would learn or what I thought we would learn or how I thought it would go. And so we taught four, this is the fifth, but we taught four classes. And, the first one was how to calm an anxious mind. Second was growth happens in the middle. The third was weather of the mind. And the last one was stay with it. And so one thing that I've learned through this series of staying steady and finding balance is, you know, it doesn't happen, staying steady doesn't happen in stillness. It's, it happens in motion. It doesn't happen by trying to control all the movement around you and in life and trying to balance these scales. No, it's like walking a tightrope in a wind tunnel, trying to balance as best you can. There is no precision. There is no right or wrong. And it's really, really easy to get off course. And that's why it's important for us to prepare. Because this training in these moments where we take the time to stay steady and be still and explore and recognize the things that get us off balance or the things that unsteady us, because it's so easy to get off track and not realize it. And, you know, putting it all together was I was writing this article for a magazine. And in doing so, I came across this pilot principle called the 1 in 60 rule. So pilots learn a navigation principle called the 1 in 60 rule, where um, a 1 degree error in heading will place an aircraft 1 mile off course after 60 miles of flight. Fascinating, right? 1 degree. And the thing about it is, if you're a passenger on the plane, you don't know you're off course. You're a pilot. If you're not reading the gauges and correcting, I'm moving. We're going. You're getting closer. But when you get there, you won't be where you intended to be. You'll be way off course. Um, so along the way, in motion, little adjustments, little corrections, little balances along the way. And when we stop and think about our practice and what we've learned this month, it takes an incredible amount of energy to be still, to control stillness, right? Every thought, every feeling, the rigidity of it, how stiff it feels to be like so precise and try to control that stillness. Um, it's impossible. And the craziest thing about it is in stillness, you are not still because I mean, I have a heartbeat, I'm breathing, we're staying present with the breath. There's no stillness there. That's why I can feel that sensation. There's a heartbeat. We're on a planet that's turning in a solar system that's like slinging through the nothingness void. There is no such thing as stillness as long as we're alive. And even if we're dead on this planet, there's still motion. So it's mental when you stop to think about it, but to control stillness or to control steadiness, to control balance, and to try to take all of those things into your control, we have learned through this time that it's exhausting and it's impossible. And whether it be balancing an anxious mind, um, a process that you're doing, feelings that you're feeling, um, all of that is a practice, and it's an important one because when we're preparing, as we learn in this series, we're reflecting on things that unbalanced us. We are um, recognizing triggers. situations that we can, from our own experience, have been unbalancing. And that takes courage, which is ironically our next series will be on courage. But this time, this month, and what we've learned, um, if you're not familiar with the feeling of unbalance, the feeling of unsteady, and willing to look into it, willing to investigate it, to sit with it, to engage with it, um, you can really get off course fast for a long time before you ever notice it. And it will appear as if everything, as if there was no problem. And I think that's the danger, really, right? Because that's how you end up living a life of regret. That's how you can, we've heard stories of that. Maybe you've experienced it yourself where I knew it wasn't the right thing and I stayed too long. The same thing for me. My last career, like it went on way longer than it should have. And I knew it the whole time. But it takes a little bit of courage to get ready for it. And so, but we're ready for the next time. That's what we're doing here. We're preparing, we're training, we're becoming familiar with the things that unsteady us and unbalance us so we can be more prepared the next time we engage with that. So, and like I said, it takes courage, and that's what we'll be focusing on next. But for now, let's train. So, a few deep breaths, nice, easy focus. Just recognize the posture, the spine. And let's just let all of that go. As for right now, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to be. Let's just breathe. If you haven't already, close your eyes. Check the posture. And let's focus on the sensation of our lips. And let's give ourselves a nice little curl there of a nice, easy, content smile. As today we have a lot to be grateful for. So let's keep that physical feeling in our focus for our practice today. Feel the sensation of the chest expanding and contracting. Just notice if the breaths are long, short, shallow, or deep. The feeling of weight, hands in the lap. Remember that feeling of a smile, those muscles at the side of the lips, and the rising and falling sensation of the breath. And when you realize you've been distracted, just recognize the distraction, note it, and return to the feeling of the breath and the smile of the lips. Keep breathing. Remember the posture. Remember the lips. Back straight. Shoulders relaxed. And just let the mind be free. If it wants to think, let it think. No restrictions. Bring your attention back to the feeling of weight. Any sounds around you. Last few breaths. And when you're ready, you can open the eyes. Stretch if you like. And so this concludes our series on staying steady. And just to recap, it doesn't take much to get off course. And it really does take courage to look inside yourself and to look into yourself and to reflect on the things that maybe need more attention or need more distance or need more space or need more energy or need less energy because they unbalance you or they make you unsteady. And there's sometimes, that might involve cutting ties. That might involve making some very serious changes in life. And so you can sometimes feel guilt for that. Maybe a feeling of something, a feeling of tension about becoming the person you know you should be because you're unbalanced, because you're becoming unsteady, because these things are affecting you. And so to be able to look at that and to engage with it takes courage. And so our next series will be on that. And how can we maintain, how can we be more courageous? Not in the sense of physical bravery, but in the sense of mind, body, emotions, um, what that looks like. So I'm excited to be start guiding that next week. I hope you join. I look forward to seeing you there. And just remember, no pressure, just practice. So thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again.